So Neal McDonough has recently talked on a podcast about his experience of losing opportunities and getting blacklisted in Hollywood for his controversial decision not to kiss other women other than his wife on screen for his roles. He is a Christian. He also takes his marriage vows extremely seriously. And of course, there are Christian actors and actresses out there who are willing to do kissing scenes with other actors as part of their job, and they don't see it as an affront to their commitment to their spouses. But for him, it's always been a very hard line. He has kept this up throughout his career, and he's lost a lot for this. So I wanted to show this clip before we respond to it.
Here we go.
I'd always had in my contracts that I wouldn't kiss another woman on screen. And my wife didn't have any problem with it. It was me really who had a problem with it. I was like, when I wouldn't do it and they couldn't understand it, Hollywood just completely turned on me. And they wouldn't let me be part of the show anymore. And for 2 years, I couldn't get a job and I lost everything you could possibly imagine. Not just houses and material things, but your swagger, your cool, who you are, your identity, everything. My identity was an actor and a really good one. And once you don't have that identity, you're kind of lost in a tailspin. And I was in a big, ugly tailspin for a couple of years.
I think he said that he was drinking too much, was a problem with it at the time, probably sent him down a bad path.
As a result of like struggling financially.
He doesn't drink anymore, at least from what I was reading. But yeah, like what's interesting about it is as far as I can remember, none of the things that I've ever seen him in have ever required him to kiss a person. He's just a great bad guy.
Well, because he doesn't take or get offered those roles, though.
He takes great bad guy roles where he gets to say cool bad guy stuff with his cool bad guy face. He looks like a villain.
Evil.
He's like that. I mean, that's the funny dichotomy. Is like he looks kind of evil.
We have a 20 from Shane H. Wilder. I don't even know if I should attempt.
Don't even bother attempting.
It means St. Mary's Church in the hollow of the White Hazel near a rapid whirlpool, and the Church of St. Tecilio near the Red Cave in Welsh.
Yeah. So, I mean, to be fair, I don't know, like, I don't watch all his movies or see all the other stuff that he's in, but it had to be very, very difficult when Hollywood is saying, you know, we need you to do this or else. But that means that he, like you said, he could have been going for roles that had nothing to do with those types of scenes, and then they weren't going to cast him anyways.
He says he took up drinking and lost his identity before his wife helped him find a way out of the dumps. In the clip, he doesn't specify when he went through those rough times. He says times have changed, and he released a new project in May called The Last Rodeo that sees him kissing a woman on screen. How did he move past the hurdle? His real-life wife jumped in to play his wife in that project. He discusses this darker chapter in his career, Clint Eastwood changing his life, playing villains over the years, and more on the podcast. And aside from Yellowstone, he's known for Desperate Housewives, Suits, There Are More, Minority Report, Band of Brothers, American Horror Story.
I'm gonna look.
I think he was in. What was he in? Nefarious?
No,
it was The Shift.
That was The Shift
from Angel Studios.
It was Sean Patrick Flannery that was in Nefarious.
Yeah.
I want you to look. First of all, the interesting thing is now it's likely because of the fact that it takes time for stuff to come out, but there are no gaps in his resume on IMDb, and it goes back a long. Like we're down here at 1990, and he works every year. I didn't see any year without any work. We're only up to 2000 now. All that stuff. So likely there was a period in there where there was stuff that was just kind of waiting to come out, and then they just happened to come out on a different year. But there are no gaps in his resume.
Well, okay. I believe the claim that he definitely has left a lot of money on the table for his commitment to not kissing other women on screen. And I also think most normal people would feel deeply uncomfortable with their spouse doing that, just if it's part of their job or not. I think most people would be disturbed by that. Yeah. Apparently his wife isn't one of those people, but he still decided that had to be a hard line for him. Maybe because he feels like it would be a temptation to him for infidelity.
Yeah.
And it's something that I understand most of Hollywood would frown upon and see as puritanical. They believe that sex on screen is a form of self-expression and art, and they're very pretentious about that. So if they're called out by just one person not participating in their rule book, it feels like a personal attack.
It's also a level of personal responsibility. Like, he understands that if he holds his marriage high above everything else, he has to do everything in his power to make sure that he doesn't cause any harm to it. So he's just taking extra steps and precautions to make sure that nothing can come in between him and his wife. And I think that that's something where Hollywood would assume that they would be willing to sacrifice that at the altar of their career. So it's shocking when someone won't.
Well, Variety ended up reporting on this comment that he made, and you mentioned this was something that was circulated on alternative outlets for a long time.
I had seen it on his IMDb years ago, and I think it came back up now because of the novelty of his wife working with him on this movie, so I think that the press releases were strategic.
Okay. So, but it's interesting that the legacy outlets and the trades wouldn't pick up on a story like this until just now. But he said, he couldn't get a job for 2 yeare. I'm not sure where those 2 years would fall.
He doesn't acknowledge where it was, but it just shows you how much work he was getting done in a year if there are no gaps in his resume and stuff was coming out consistently.
And the new one, The Last Rodeo, that he referred to is also an Angel Studios film. He's playing a former bull riding world champion who returns to the rodeo later in life in order to win money for his grandson's brain tumor surgery. The film opened in theaters in late May and grossed $15 million on a budget in the $8 million range.
Yeah, I mean, that's lost money, but that's besides the point. He's gonna be working no matter what. He's been prolific on TV even more than he has on the big screen.
I don't know, because I'm not like an expert on these things, but it seems to me that Angel Studios is making bank right now.
I mean, what my guess would be is like the streaming rights after the fact is where they net their money.
Probably,
like in the when it ends up back on the streaming they have their own streaming service, if I remember correctly.
Well, they made a lot of money on Sound of Freedom,
yes,
for sure, by releasing it in theaters. Aside from Neal McDonough, though, there are other actors who have similar rules for themselves, their own boundaries about the roles that they take. Another one is Kirk Cameron. He refused to kiss other women on screen after marrying a co-star, Chelsea Noble.
And I think Candace Cameron Bure has something similar.
I don't see her listed here. And he also had his wife play a body double in one scene.
Okay.
Kirk Cameron did.
That's a very famous example, right?
Here's another one. Brad Pitt refused to kiss Cate Blanchett in The Curious Case of Benjamin Button,
because he was
possibly out of respect for then-wife Angelina Jolie.
Well, that all fell apart anyways, so...
You have to wonder, is it like the spouse who's making that request? Well, according to Neal McDonough, it was always his idea, and his wife wouldn't have had a problem with it.
That's very interesting, because you'd think that Angelina Jolie wouldn't have a problem with it either, given that she's also an actor.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just their own insular culture where those things aren't even questioned.
Yeah.
And
there's plenty of actors who make content about like less working. I forget the guy's name. He was on the OC. He makes content now about being on his wife makes content now about being on the OC, about how he used to be a heartthrob. And it's about like how he used to kiss other women.
Yeah.
And she now knows the other women because they're all friends off set and stuff like that. Again, if you're not in the industry, if you're not a theater nerd, it's going to come across weird. It's going to feel weird to everyone that's not part of that world.
We have a 20 from Hey You. I understand Neal's choice not to kiss co-stars on camera, but he traded one sin for another. Peter 5-8 reads, "Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour."
Wait, what was the other? I'm confused.
I suppose if he phrased it that way, like, I drank as a substitute for, like, kissing other women than my wife, but that's not exactly the way that he put it in the story.
Correct.
I think he's just saying that he went through a rough period of his career, which is partially as a result of the boundaries that he has about the roles he takes. Not that that's the entire explanation for it.
I wonder also if, like, maybe his wife's like, no, it's okay. But he's like,
but like, he's like, I don't really believe that you think it's okay.
Yeah. And that's fine too. I
Yeah.
guess. Like,
Well, that's understandable.
he's just shoring up his positions so that he doesn't
Right.
have to come back later and be like, you said it was fine.
Right. And then
She's-
she was like, I wanted you to want to not kiss other women.
Oh my! And,
know?
and you know
Classic.
that could happen.
Yeah. I'm looking for. There was this this short that I saw recently of an actor's wife who was like making jokes about how she has to watch him kiss other women on screen.
I think I
and
know what
like,
you're talking about.
That it does actually bother her, but she just kind of has to put up with it.
Because he makes a lot of money.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I can't find it at the moment, but I understand that. Like, I wouldn't be okay with that.
Yeah.
I certainly wouldn't be okay with whatever Pedro Pascal and Vanessa Kirby are up to on the press tour. That's a whole other thing.
That baby's gonna think Pedro's the dad.
Yeah. Oh, I found it. Her name is she is the wife of Chris Carmack. Have you heard of him?
What's his? Can you send me? I wonder if it's the guy I was literally just thinking of.
She made a reel where she's like playing his kiss scenes on the TV and like
this is exactly who I'm thinking of.
here I'm sending you the
Yes,
the link.
there. She has a whole Instagram channel that's hilarious.
Okay, there you have it on Slack.
That's so funny.
I wanted to show this while we had the chance.
That's literally who I. Let me just. Yeah, the dude from the OC. This is exactly who I was thinking of. That's hilarious.
and all the girls in the comments are like, I could never do what you do. Like, good for you for being so mature.
Here we go. Not getting us in trouble. It says, yeah, you're so funny. Thanks. This is what my husband does when he goes to work.
Yeah, like most people would just be not okay with that. Like that would be a deal breaker for almost any person.
The top comment says, may this love never find me.
Yeah, like I would not be okay with that.
So I think what it is also though is like that this is like a coping mechanism or a defense mechanism for her where it's like it allows her to turn it into something that she gets to make herself. And the more charitable definition was like she can laugh at the absurdity of what it is. But most actors will tell you, whether they're being honest or not, I don't know, that look at what he's doing. Like he's in a shower, likely in a room filled with like 65 people in just ridiculously hot lights.
Yeah.
Like it's not comfortable. It's not sexy.
Sure.
It's extremely awkward, but it does lead to problems for people who get too emotionally connected.
But, you know, there are enough examples of co-stars who are love interests in movies or TV shows ending up dating because of the chemistry they had on screen. That it's a valid reason to be concerned about it, you know? Like, I believe it was the theory behind Blake Lively's lawsuit against Justin Baldoni that Ryan Reynolds allegedly cheated on Scarlett Johansson with Blake Lively because they were love interests in a movie together, and he, in that sense, will project those paranoias onto Blake Lively, who has a new love interest in Justin Baldoni in their movie, and he's gonna assume like, oh my gosh, like this is a risk to my marriage.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's happened enough times that it's not a crazy thing to assume.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.